Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to give a couple minutes to let others join. We have probably about 15 people on the call, so just another minute and we'll get started. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jill Shimon, and I am a community engagement coordinator with Indiana 211. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session is about a volunteer income tax assistance program, and our presenter is George Hutton with the United Way of Central Indiana. And before we begin, I'd like for you to Sherry is going to share in the chat the link to our session. And if you wouldn't mind, I would like to ask that you go ahead and grab that link so that you have the survey pulled up before the call ends. And that way we can be sure to, you can be sure and fill that survey out, especially if you need a CEU credit. We do need you to fill out the survey if you're looking to get that credit. And okay, so with that, George, if you would like to introduce yourself and get started, I would be happy to hear what you have to say.
No problem. Thank you, Jill. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you to my colleagues at FSA and Indiana 211. As Jill said, my name is George Hutton. I am the manager of financial pathways here at United Way of Central Indiana. And today I will be speaking to you all about our volunteer income tax assistance program, also known as VITA. So, VITA, VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. So today on the agenda, we will go over what is VITA, what is Indy Free Tax Prep, what is My Free Taxes, alignment with our economic mobility strategy, low income child tax credit infographic, Indy Free Tax Prep over the years, and our 23 tax season results. So without further ado, what is VITA? The VITA program has been operated by the IRS for over 50 years. VITA sites offer free tax help to people who are in need of assistance in preparing their own tax returns, including those people who generally make $66,000 or less, people with disabilities, and limited English speaking taxpayer. In addition to VITA, the TCE, Tax Counseling for Elderly program, offers tax help, particularly to those who are 60 years of age and older, specializing in questions about pension, retirement-related issues unique to seniors. Indy Free Tax Prep is known to us. That is our initiative. It is VITA, but we call it Indy Free Tax Prep as we employ the strategy. It is a network of volunteer income tax assistance, VITA sites, that provide free tax preparation services to individuals and families with a combined household income of $66,000 or less for the 24 tax year. IRS certified volunteers prepare essential income tax returns and offer free electronic filing for eligible individuals in Marion County, Boone, Hendricks, and Morgan counties. Since the program began in 2015, marking its 10-year anniversary in 2025, Volunteers have prepared over 44,000 tax returns for residents of Central Indiana, resulting in more than 40 million in tax returns for our neighbors and residents. Here is a quick video about our Indy Free Tax Prep, also known as VITA.
Indy Free Tax Prep is an opportunity for us to connect taxpayers to free tax preparation services and also connect them to other resources.
We fully support the VITA program, which is going out to volunteers all across the country. You know, VITA is really important because it offers the opportunity for taxpayers to get a free service they don't have to pay for, which means every penny that's coming back to them in a refund goes in their pocket.
How many years have you been getting your taxes done here?
Probably about 10 to 12 years. It's a blessing. Dealing with taxes, it can be stressful when you got different deductions and the laws change. So it gave me a latitude to do some other things and let professional people assist me in this area.
Who you trust to prepare your return is an incredibly important decision. It's imperative to know that you are ultimately responsible for the information that is on or missing from the return, even if you use a paid preparer. It's always good to use a reputable preparer, somebody who you can reach throughout the year. And again, you can take advantage of the VITA program here at the Bonner Center.
Huntington is looking out for people in our communities, and that's why we participate through VITA. And we've been doing this for over 15 years. We'd love for you to come out and participate, bring your ID, your last year's tax return and all your legal documents, your account number and your routing number, so your refund can be direct deposited.
This is so important for our communities as we work to break barriers, and tax preparation is just one of them.
So please come out to your closest IndyFreeTaxPrep.com site. We can get you taken care of. Free tax preparation and other services will be available.
All right. So my free taxes along with our mobile sites, we also as United Way Worldwide have a strategy that we use, and it's called My Free Taxes. So United Way Worldwide partnership with VITA allows individuals to file taxes securely on their own and for free. So they are guided by phone support available to help complete the tax returns. We know we're not all tax preparers and certified by the IRS, so we will need that assistance. So we also offer that. And the minimum threshold for my free taxes is actually a little higher than the $66,000. It's actually at $74,000. So a lot of neighbors and resident taxpayers may fall into that bucket. So with utilizing My Free Taxes, we have had more than 1.3 million people use the site. And also we have saved some of 260 million in tax preparation fees. So how does this align with us as an organization? So specifically within my department on the economic mobility team, our strategy is also to get our neighbors and residents to economic mobility. Increasing household income ensures that all eligible tax credits are assessed, maximizing tax returns for families. More than 4 million in total tax refunds were secured in 2024 at our Central Indiana VITA sites. This is significant of the utilization of it. 94% of families with low income, that means less than 35,000, benefited from the 2024 expansion of monthly child tax credit payments, helping cover basic needs like food, clothing, housing, utilities, and children's education. Financial education and wealth building. This is a lump sum of money that you get, and you can do an infinite amount of things with it, but it can also provide you access to additional financial educations and opportunities for wealth building. And community impact. This is something that it takes our neighbors and residents to run. This is a volunteer income tax assistance program. So along with it helping the community, we also are engaging the community as well. So we leverage volunteers and community partners to create a significant impact. With 162 VITA volunteers contributing in 2024, my apologies. So here is a little infographic that I wanted to show you all that exactly the impact and the need that this program is bringing to our community. So for families with low income, spent and expanded the child tax credit on most basic needs in education. So you can see from the graphic that over 50% of those low income families spent it on food. So this money actually helps our neighbors and residents get the things that they need, like nutrition, also utility, rent payments, clothing, education costs, and anything above that. So vehicle payments, paying down debt, childcare, those things were kind of low because the need was for them to be able to meet their needs with this money. So we understand that for our low income family, having free tax prepared returns benefits them in the long run. We know that a lot of times that people spend lots of money on getting tax preparation services, but this is something that is data driven to increase household income. So this is here the impact of what we're doing. Next slide, please. So I wanted to paint a picture over time how the program has evolved. So we can see from the first year, VITA was very booming. We had over 7,000 returns and over 300 volunteers. And as we progressed and things like COVID happened, we are slowly gaining back our momentum with the program. So for 2024, we see that we had 4,900 tax returns filed within Citriana and 162. So this is yielding great numbers for post-COVID VITA. And we expect for 2025 that we have overwhelming success as well with the program now being more recognizable and accessible. We expect our returns to yield higher in our volunteers as well. So to give you a snapshot of the 2024 VITA season, the 2023 tax season result, we had approximately 4,900 tax returns that were filed in Boone County, Hendricks, Marion, and Morgan County, with 4,627 of which were all low-income families, which they did at no cost. 47% of the total returns filed were our elderly neighbors. So we know that we have those people who may not be able to make it. So within the program, we have different variations of sites, meaning that loved ones can drop off tax documents and we'll prepare them for free and bring them back to those neighbors and residents who need that service, especially our elderly neighbors. Central Indiana residents receive over $4,600,000 in tax refund. That is an over that number is very profound, and that is something that we are very proud of because we're bringing this service to generate that economic mobility within our neighbors and residents. Next slide, please. So now we will take this time to answer any questions that you all may have. Please feel free to write them down in the chat.
So if you have any questions for George, you can go ahead and put those in the Q&A section, and we will wait just a minute here to see if we get any. If not, then Jill will probably go ahead and share some more from 211, and then we will come back to the Q&A section. So feel free to put those questions there.
Sherry, feel free to interrupt me if you do have any questions to read, okay? I'm going to go
All right,
ahead and move
sounds good.
forward, and I wanted to share with you some information about how 211 is involved with the volunteer income tax assistance program and the United Way. So as always, if you are in need of finding a resource to have your income taxes done through the VITA program, you can always refer people to Indiana 211, and our call navigators can locate centers or places for them to take their taxes to in their communities. We also have added to our webpage a specific link to the VITA and tax preparation program. It's on the top of the page, and if you were to click on that, it will take you to some additional information about the volunteer income tax program and a few details about 211's involvement in it. So if you want to then get to this page and you want to find VITA locations, you would click on the highlighted or hyperlink icon there, and it will take you to our listing, our current active listing of these centers or services available in the VITA program. So as an example for this presentation, I went ahead and clicked on the United Way of Jennings County. And when you do that through the Indiana 211 search, it's going to take you to a page that's going to give you additional details and information about that particular facility and the eligibility requirements for someone. So for this particular one, the annual 2024 household income needs to be of $64,000 or less to be eligible. So what we found out is generally most of the eligibility requirements in terms of income for the household are between 58,000 and 64,000 or less. So that's one thing that is pretty much standard. But this is also going to give you a phone number to call, a website to go to, hours of operation, and additional information on what counties that might be covered and other eligibility requirements, and what all you need to bring in terms of getting that assistance with your tax return. And then this slide is asking you all to help us spread the awareness of not only Indiana 211, but our seasonal programs such as the VITA program, and information about warming centers and cooling centers. So what I ask that you do is, if you can, screen this or copy this QR code, and it's going to take you to the page on the FSSA Indiana 211 website, where you can see all of the graphics, infographics, or items that you can download to use on social media pages, like this Need Tax Assistance JPEG that we have on the left. It also is going to show you what our current marketing materials look like, and take you to the page if you want to order some of those marketing materials. But it's going to show you an image of each of the items that are available. And finally, if you are on social media and see an Indiana 211 posting, we ask that you try to like it and share it. There's also on our materials page, where it has these JPEGs, some verbiage that you may want to use if you're going to post it on your agency's social media page. And finally, just one last chance, if you could, to get that survey link out of the chat that Sherry posted, so that you can fill out the survey for this session. We also wanted to share some of the upcoming topics for February and March for Indiana 211 University. February is going to be a discussion about the Indiana 211 Day and some updates to our website, and as well as some new features and items that we are going to be launching in 2025. March, we're going to talk about extreme weather and disaster and damage reporting and how all of that works, and how we work with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security and in emergency situations. And finally, I wanted to remind everybody that all of the Indiana 211 University sessions that we have held since last July are available on YouTube. And in this slide, you see a link to that channel where you can watch past episodes. This one will probably not hit that page until today, later today, or sometime later this week. And one last reminder, if you are trying to earn CEU credits, you do need to attend a live session versus watching the recording. And with that, I will refer back to Sherry for any questions.
It does not look like we have any questions. Oh, I apologize. One did just come in. Are there any particular changes to the tax code for this year that affect those we serve? Also, are there any changes to the tax code you are advocating for? What are ways we can support those changes to be made?
Thank you, Sherry. So in terms of tax code being changed, the IRS per se is always updating and trying to make sure the program is as effective to our neighbors and residents. To be most effective and in the know about what's going on, you want to make sure that you are visiting the IRS website and make sure that you are searching VITA, and there it will give you the most pertinent updates. There have been a lot of things that have been changed, not so much to make it harder on the taxpayer, but to make it easier. With that, I can get the link, and maybe if this is going to be sent out again, I can tag that link somewhere for Jill. But yeah, the IRS website will give you the most accurate information in terms of this upcoming tax season.
Thank you, George. And if you have that link handy now, if you want to, I believe you can put it in the chat for me to see, and then I could share it with everyone now if you have it. Otherwise, we can send it out later. But it looks like that is our only question right now. So if anyone else has any questions, now is your chance to go ahead and put those in the Q&A section.
I will note that we are always looking for additional resources for the Indiana 211 database. If you have or work for a group or an agency that you think might be a good fit for our resource database, don't hesitate to refer people to the indiana211.org page, or we also have a way for folks to submit an inclusion request form to be considered to be added to the resource database. And that includes even agencies that might be part of the VITA program or provide additional assistance to the community.
Sherry, I just sent that link in the chat for you.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm sharing that with everyone now.
George, did you share already when a person comes to you for assistance, are the tax returns then printed and given back to them, or are they shared electronically, or can you process them electronically through the IRS for the
So
person?
when a person comes to a VITA site, they have, well, in our central region in our central Indiana region, we have in-person sites or drop-off sites. So whether you go to either or, you will still need to be present, or someone needs to be present on your behalf with your legal documents. You must have your ID, you must have your tax returns, and any other legal documents, depending on your filing of marriage or single. But you must be able to do an intake meeting, and there they can do the return for you electronically or on paper. It just depends on what your preference is. With My Free Taxes on the United Way side, it is strictly electronic, and you do that by yourself. You will have an assistant on the line that can help you walk through that process. So it's a couple of different means that you can take in terms of utilizing the VITA or Indie Free Tax Prep assistance. You will need to make sure that you adhere to the IRS document filing guidelines, which tell you what to bring to the site and what documents that you need to have.
Okay, thank you. And I also wanted to know, when you shared the slide about what people tend to use their return funds for,
Mhm.
the main things that they use them for, like food and utility payments and housing payments, those are very closely parallel to our top 5 needs for callers to Indiana 211. They are calling for those same types of resources. So I thought that was an interesting point to make.
Yeah, me as well, Jill. When I was conducting the research, I really felt the impact of the program. And much like ourselves, tax return can do a lot, and it is something that it's a service. This service is something that can save a lot of people lots of money, because a lot of people spend lots of money on tax preparation services, or they don't know how much they are getting back because their taxes are done inaccurately, and people can be very mischievous with tax preparation. So this is a surefire way to make sure that your taxes are done accurately and that you are getting the refund that you need to cover those basic needs, especially if you fall into those low income family threshold.
Well, and if people are anything like me, the filing of taxes can be an overwhelming or daunting thought. So to know that there's assistance out there is probably, you know, a relief to many. So
I too was introduced to VITA. I did not know that there was a service out here that gave the neighbors and residents the mobility to get this service. So this is something that I'm myself will take advantage of, and I encourage everyone else to, especially in the opportunities that it would leverage in your economic mobility journeys.
well, if there are no more questions, Sherry, I think we will wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for attending. We have a good sized group here, about 38 participants. So again, this is recorded and we'll probably post to our YouTube channel by tomorrow at the latest, is usually how quickly they get that done for us. I guess that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day, everyone.